And
well, the beans don't look very good. That's because beans are stupid.
you ever consider it's because maybe you're a moron?
The sun beats down, hot ground is rough. Farmer's Tan podcast got me feeling tough. Sweating through the days, ain't no broken plan. Talking with the folks from this thirsty land.
Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome back to the Farmer Tan podcast. I am Jake in the 308. Sitting around the table with me tonight is Jared with Aiden Bushels and Beef.
All right.
And how it's just us two tonight in
Yeah.
the studio. So Farmer Tan podcast broadcast studio part 2. We've effectively nicknamed it the Deuce. We're still there, and yeah, things are going moderately.
Yeah, they're going.
Yeah, they're going. Hey, sorry it has been a while. Actually, as we are cutting this, I have got a podcast that we have done already that I just have not had time to edit. And so you'll probably get a double drop here sometime in the near future. If you can do better, please write the show. We're looking for people to help.
We could use an editing team.
Yeah, so anyway, but
Free high fives.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And you got a twofer on
use some
Friday.
discretion.
Yeah. Well, right. We can't just be
high fiving all the time.
No, it loses its importance.
Oh, yeah.
If you overuse the high five.
Yeah, for sure.
Low five, you
Yeah.
could probably use that a little more often.
Yep. Thumbs up. We could be liberal with thumbs up, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Or thumbs down, really, if you're not doing a very good job. You know, so here's what's interesting. We are a family-friendly program, for the most part, probably PG.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe PG-13 if you're super sensitive, but we try to be, we try to care. And so there is a not PG hand signal that sometimes people give other drivers.
I was running the same brainwave
Yep.
with you.
And we are certainly not a fan of that here at the Farmer Tan podcast. My brother came up with one that somebody pulls out in front of you. Maybe they brake check you. Maybe they're racing you to the corner in the parking lot, and you just want them to know that, hey, you are not doing a great job driving today. Now, this is up to you. If you're very serious, it can be hand out the window or hand in the cab if you're just kind of serious. But it is a big, fat, hairy thumbs down.
Yeah, I've done it.
And that is very effective. My brother came up with that, and I asked him, like, how do you know that is super effective? And he said, well, I had a bonehead move one day, and somebody did that to me. And he said, I felt terrible the rest of the day about it.
That's what I've seen on the internet, too, is like, instead of the usual gesture, someone gave me a thumbs down, and somehow it hurt more.
Yep. So we are huge. Is it a proponent?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are big time in favor of the thumbs down if it's justified.
I mean,
so
usually that's for really egregious, really obvious, because, I mean, you have to exercise it some amount of grace, because there's sometimes people do things and they don't see the other people.
Yeah.
Hands up, been there. Someone's been in the doorpost in my blind spot
we're like,
while
if
I'm making
you're-
a turn. And
Oh yeah.
you
And
miss them. But
if you're updating your status on social media, you don't always see,
but there's some that you saw their thought process, you saw them pull it off,
Oh yeah.
and it's just kind of a like, hey, I saw that, you know what you did.
Yep. I pulled up to a stop sign, complete stop, looked both ways one day, pulled out and like looked in the mirror, and there was somebody, directly glued to my bumper, and it was not because they were getting it. I pulled out right in front of them.
Yep.
So I felt bad. I thumbed down myself that day.
I know, I did that just the other day in town, and just that
Yeah.
blind spot, and all's well that ends well, and you do the I'm sorry wave, and you move on.
Yeah. Which, now, all right. Being you brought that up, bonehead move, it happens.
Yep.
None of us are perfect. If you do the, my bad wave, yeah, that's pretty close to an I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I will double down on giving you grace in that situation if you just own it.
Yep.
It's the ones that are like, yeah, this is my chunk of road, and
Or the ones that,
that's tough.
pull it off, and maybe you lift your hands in the air like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
then they get angry in return. They're the ones at fault. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, always sometimes I think it'd be good to have intercommunication between vehicles, but then the more I think about it, the more I know that'd be a terrible idea.
Like
If everybody had a CB.
yeah, or and look, I'm not condoning this. We just know people that do it. If you're going to text anyway, like if you could just text their license plate number.
Oh, yeah.
And send them a hey, what are you doing? Maybe it's good that, I don't know. But I think once a month you ought to be able to put the right fender in somebody's quarter panel and spin them out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
sure.
really? That we're gonna drive over here at 63 miles an hour. Come on, I'm sending you on a circle. Man, hey, tonight's broadcast is not sponsored by, but being brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company Espresso Mocha.
Yeah,
It's
good stuff.
In the can, and it is naturally and artificially flavored.
Oh, okay.
It says right here. Camo-looking can, though, so be careful where you set it down. You may not be able to find it. 200 milligrams of caffeine in this bad boy.
Yeah.
So we're getting gassed up. It's also a good source of protein. 100% Arabica coffee, says right here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for whatever that's worth, I don't know where the protein comes from.
Read the nutrition facts panel next.
Would you like me to? 1 serving size per can, 11-ounce can. You'll be interested to know.
So sorry, audience. I shouldn't even put the idea in.
Why can't... all right. I told Jared I promised not to be grouchy because I sort of started off grouchy, but we got work through it. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But what I don't understand, you could go 8-ounce can.
Yeah.
Or a 12-ounce can, 11-ounce can.
Yeah.
Really? Why did we go there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And make it so it doesn't fit a cup holder. Make it skinny.
No, it doesn't fit anything. If they're kind of like a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like a tall.
And I think that's what they're going for. Like, this is kind of an energy pack drink. Yeah. So we want it to resemble an energy drink can, but don't double down on a mistake.
No.
Just because someone else does something boneheaded doesn't mean you have to.
That's a fact. But, I digress. We're not sponsored by them, but certainly the podcast is being brought to you by it because that's what we're both drinking right now. And we appreciate they have good stuff. So we'll let them off the hook. However, I'm not... Okay. Cup holders.
Yeah.
Now everybody has went, almost nothing fits in the cup holder.
No.
Now you're getting cup holders that are big enough that if you have normal sized cups or cans or bottles, they rattle around in the cup holder.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not big enough to fit the, whatever, the big tumblers that you're carrying, and you remember for a while, I don't even know if they still do it, but the monster, 48-ounce styrofoam cups, but they had the narrow bottom to fit in the cup holder, but they were styrofoam. So if you got real rammy with the straw going down the side, you stab a hole through that shoulder, and then that's leaking out. I just, whenever John Deere finally put the correct hydraulic outlets on their tractor, then everybody was finally Pioneer fittings. Why can't we have a standard cup holder?
That's the thing. Everything.
It's 2025, isn't it?
Phone chargers becoming standardized. Everything is working towards standardized, but cup sizes it's just insane.
I don't understand. I do know the Ford, it has got inserts in the cup holder.
Yeah.
So regular pop can will fit in there. Or a normal size coffee, to-go cup. But you can pull that out and then you can fit the big tumblers in there.
Oh, yeah.
And anything else that you can remove, once you remove it, we have no idea where it went. So now they're just big and anything rattles around in it. I appreciate they built those. We have talked about this off air before, but they built that pickup for people like me and my family. There is 2, 4, 6. There's at least 6 super easy to get to cup holders, and there's only seat belts for 5.
Right.
And I think there's some in the door panels also.
Oh, yeah.
But who puts a cup in there? Because you slam the door in kablooey.
Yeah, I guess it depends where it's at. I know we use ours in the door for say we take a trip east. We bring coffee on the way there, but maybe we have drinks coming back. Well, then your empty travel mug can go sit in the door so you can use your regular cup holders for what you're drinking on the way back. That's the only time we use it, but anybody who's using a drink that they're actually actively drinking out of in the door panel, I don't get that.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you put your empty travel mug in the door, though, what are you putting on the floor?
My feet.
Right. But what else?
Preferably nothing.
Okay. Well... No, I agree. I think they made it for folks like us because we like to put everything but cups in the cup holders.
Yeah.
And so usually out of those 6, we can find 2 that will actually hold a drink. Allen screws.
Yep.
Electrical tape.
Oh, yeah.
Change. Chapstick. The alcohol wipes for your glasses.
Hair barrettes.
Oh, yeah. Those will live in there. Whatever Owen is packing around. We went to a military museum one day, and he could not wait to buy a imitation hand grenade.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I mean, I think it was, I don't know if it was ever actually a real one, but I mean, it was a true cast iron or whatever they make them out of. I mean, it was big and heavy, and I mean, it was a legit hand grenade. It just didn't go bang. That rode around in the cup holder for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I actually left it in there when we took it to the mechanic shop, and they didn't say a thing, which was super disappointing. So anyway, whatever. Black Rifle won't fit in the cup holder. You just need to plow it down right away, and
that's pretty much it.
Go on with your day.
Yep.
So it has been a long time since we've actually had one out. Like I said, we did cut one here a while ago. We'll try to get that out. Man, June has flown by.
Yeah, one of the shortest months of the year, I say.
Yeah,
always does.
One of the shortest, longest months. There is, I think, more happens in the month of June than any other month.
Yeah,
with the exception of like December, maybe, because there's just a lot of end of the year.
But the nights are so long that you usually shut it down by 5, 6 o'clock. So you got some evenings, but June is just kind of up until 9, 10 o'clock. Anything goes.
And we're to the time of year now, 10 o'clock at night, still light in the sky out here.
Yep.
And it's very light by 5:45.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sure super light at 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, opportunity to get a lot of work done. But I don't know, man. It's been crazy. So we've been playing baseball. Our boys were 12U this year. And so luckily that's most of May and all of June for the most part. We've kind of got that buttoned up. Not kind of, we did. Got into the A bracket on the tournament. Didn't have the best first game out, and so that kind of used us up. So we're done, which is okay. Good baseball season. I think we've talked before, but my youngest, he's catcher. He had a really good year.
Oh, good.
He kind of got some stuff figured out. Here a couple games ago, we were playing a team, and they were pretty aggressive on stealing. And our pitcher that night was a little off, and so he was throwing some stuff that was kind of hard for O to get corralled, and they took that opportunity to steal home, and so they stole home on him, and they won that one. Well, then they sent the next kid. Well, Owen got it gathered up and got back to home plate, and there was a monster crash at the plate. I mean, like he sold out. It was, you want it, come and take it. And so that worked, got the out. They sent another kid. That was a really wild pitch. He made it. The next ball that got by him, they sent a kid, another monster crash at the plate.
Man,
come and get it. After that, they didn't send anybody home anymore. So that was good. Good to see. He lives for that. I mean, that's
good.
When he has dreams at night of being a catcher, it's because he wants to
collision.
Yeah, he wants to.
Well, that's good.
Ruin somebody's day. And so that was good. Working on throwing down, working on the stare down. He's working on signs with his pitchers and calling pitches accordingly, and just good all around. So that was fun watching him. He actually played up a year this year, not really because he's a rock star. I mean, he is. He does a really good job, but we didn't move him up. We're not, our kid's so good he'll play up a level.
Right.
But his brother was on 12U also, and it makes life a lot easier if we can be on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
But he is going to be on this team for 2 more years now, so he'll be pretty salty by the time he's ready to move up.
Oh, yeah.
This was Tanner's. This was his last year in 12U. Certain audience members will be excited to know that he plays second base. So, had a really good year at second base. He also plays some center field, and he plays them both really well. He did not particularly like second base when he started. He kind of said, I'll play it because the coach wants me to. I don't really enjoy it. I'd rather play center field. As the year went, the game slowed down for him.
Okay.
And you could see things just happening, and he started having some fun with it, and he ended up playing it really well. And so I was proud of him for that.
Good.
That was fun to see. And made some good plays and definitely had some quality at bats. I think he ended up with a .594 average on batting this year. So he was doing well. So that was just a lot of fun. So we got that out of the way. And
yeah, your evenings will free up a lot, I know.
Yeah, that was taking up a couple nights a week, going to baseball games and then just practice in between. And it's amazing how much time that does take.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got that buttoned up. But
yeah.
You guys, you played a little baseball.
No, never played baseball.
But your boys
boys did. Yep. Cole's did coach pitch first year this year. Elliot's first year T-ball. So, yeah, we're just kind of figuring it out. And yeah, I mean, not a lot to report on those games. It's just kind of a bunch of kids learning how. And, yeah, so.
It continues to get more fun. It starts looking like baseball here pretty shortly.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or I enjoy it anyway. But, so, yeah, boys, we kind of limit swimming pool activity during baseball season. Not that they can't go, but like on game nights, we try to you probably better not go today. They have been relieved of baseball duty now, so it's swimming pool all the time if they want to, and which works good because where we work in town, they can just go up to the pool, and they're old enough they can police themselves, and so.
Yeah, our boys have been just start doing swimming lessons they did last year and this year, so. But yeah, I took them yesterday, and they got home, and Molly got, the aforementioned Delight Donuts. They've kind of been into Minecraft lately, even though they've never played the game, oddly. But they had Minecraft frosted donuts there, so she got them each one of those, and good-sized donut. They both came home and demolished those donuts, and Cole wanted more.
Oh, yeah.
Swimming took it out of them. But yeah, the water's undefeated on energy.
Boy, that is no joke.
Yeah.
You want to be tired and sleep well, go swimming.
Oh, yeah.
And don't just sit by the edge of the pool. I mean, you got to be cannonball off the board and all sorts of stuff, and, man, it'd wear you out.
Oh, yeah. I think it's amazing. Because they, didn't eat their dinner, didn't scarf that down. It wasn't like they left hungry, but they came back and, man, they really put it down.
And those are also really good donuts.
They are.
So,
they are.
I'm
not saying the donut's the hard thing to put down, but to ask for more after the donut.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man.
Did they wait the full 30 minutes after eating before they hopped in the pool?
Oh, no. We were done swimming for the day, so.
You'd hate to have a drowning incident because you had a grilled cheese sandwich and then sank like a rock.
I know. I can't tell you how many times people have died 29 minutes after eating.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to go swimming, but I had a hot dog 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know who made that up or why they did. And this is not medical advice, but I mean, if you all right, here's the thing. If you eat a whole bowl full of beef and noodles and you jump in and drown, that's on you. But I find it hard to believe that 30 minutes makes any difference.
I know. I get kind of logic behind it, but I'm like, is anybody jumping in after eating and being like, yep, 10-mile swim now?
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot like...
We're just horsing around in a pool.
Right.
I mean,
I don't
think you're going to cramp up from...
No. It's like a stitch in time saves 9. Saves 9 what? Right? Like, I mean, I understand, like, hey, just don't take shortcuts, but why couldn't you just say that?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know either. But my mom used to say that, and I have no idea.
I actually haven't really heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Old saying. Yeah, I think it's like, hey, don't cut corners or take shortcuts. Like,
okay.
I think is what it means. I don't really know.
Sure.
But it goes a stitch in time saves 9. But I don't know what. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
9 outs. 9 innings.
9 innings.
9 cents. 9 days.
Huh.
9 donuts. I don't even know.
I'd be willing to risk 9 cents to save time.
Oh, absolutely. If that's all it's going to cost me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how you put a stitch in time, to be honest with you.
That's a fair point. Stitch in time.
Does that mean you're taking time in? Like it's a little loose around the waist and you got to put a stitch or two in? I don't know what's going on.
Boy, I don't know. This is perplexing.
It is. I have a feeling your cousin could straighten us out on that, though.
Which one?
Caitlin.
Oh, yeah.
We ought to have her on one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
She could probably straighten us both out on some stuff.
Boy, she'd bring intellect to this podcast.
You suppose she listens? She used to.
She does. Yeah.
Active yet?
I don't know.
She probably gave up.
Is anybody still?
I don't know. I don't hear anybody out there. Gave up because of poor grammar. Like those guys are. Anyway, good times. So farming side, fair amount. Farm and ranch, I guess both. Cows are all worked. Well, the cows aren't. The calves
yeah.
are. Pairs are out to grass. Calves are all worked. they're all out. They're actually to their permanent home, although we do rotationally graze, so they'll get moved around a little. But they are actually where they all belong. Bulls are all turned out. That is all done. There's some bucket calves hanging around at the corral that, they'll just be on a self-feeder all summer. But everything else is taken care of. It was interesting this morning. We had a couple of lates that were just waiting to go yet. One calf was kind of sick, so we'd been treating it just to make sure it was good. There was a cow. I think Aaron thinks she's maybe still bred. I don't know what happened, like super, super late. I sort of don't know even why she's hanging around. We were supposed to be going. We had an appointment this morning we were supposed to go to, and we were getting about ready to leave, and a neighbor called and said, hey, one of your cows is on the road, headed south, no tags, but it's your brand, looks dry, like I don't know what's going on, just want you to know. Well, Aaron's like, yeah, I know exactly what cow that is. She's supposed to be at the corral at home. So this is like 5 miles away.
Goodness.
She was headed to the pasture that she would normally be in. Crawled through a 5-wire, like a good 5-wire barbed wire fence on the outside of the corral and started taking herself to the pasture.
I was going to say, she knows it's time.
Yep. And she was not supposed to go because we really weren't sure. Like, we didn't know for sure. She was called bred during preg check.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, if she actually, and she does still look heavy, like, well, we'll let her calve and we'll, whatever.
It matters into her own hands. Got to love the initiative.
I guess. Sell her this fall, whatever. We're not really looking to be July calvers. So
okay.
We were going to just peel that calf off at some point and cow was going to get sold. Anyway, means we had to go figure that out anyway. So we went, oh, yep, that's who that is. So we walked her like the other half mile, like she was within a half mile of where she would have been.
Yeah.
Put her in the corral, went back home. Like, well, I guess if we have to do something with her, we just will get those other 2 pairs. So we grabbed them and we went down to that other corral, loaded her up because that's not the pasture that we wanted her in if being she took herself. So we went and anyway, we dumped all them out where they're supposed to be. So I guess that's officially done there.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is, which, I mean, we were basically done 2 weeks ago, but kind of had them lingering around. Replacement heifers are still at home. We're implementing a drought strategy despite having really good rain.
Yeah.
So,
but it's just, you don't feel quite good about it yet.
No, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, long way to go, and I don't know that I'm not sure how much is in the profile because we got good rains, it felt good, and then we got another stretch of 100 degrees and windy.
And then we didn't feel as good.
Right, you just don't know how much that took out. And then we just caught another nice rain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been this seesaw of too hot, too windy.
Yeah.
Catch a good rain.
Yeah.
And heading in July and August, you can't help but feel like that seesaw is going to tilt more towards the hot, windy, and less to the rain side. So
that's kind of what we're thinking too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not exactly resting easy yet, but
no,
could be in a lot worse hurt.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, they're still living at home, freeloaders. But the forage beans are all in. They're up. They're actually starting to look pretty good now. Good. Like a lot of beans in the country, they have been looking tough for a while, but they're finally looking good. So they're up and going. Was hoping maybe to get some cane in this week, but with this rain, maybe not now, which is okay. It'll drill a lot better in a few days than it would have drilled a week ago for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So kind of need to get that going, I guess. But got all the grass hay cut, baled. It was about half of what it normally is.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
For yield, but it went up okay. Got the alfalfa down and back up for first cutting. It did pretty well. It was probably 3/4 of what it normally is. Now it is irrigated, so.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But we had some.
But definitely later probably than usual.
A lot later by about 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Had some weevil damage in it. Kind of a slow start with the cool weather, but it probably yielded within 3/4 of what it normally would. Drove by a neighbor's alfalfa field who cut it maybe a couple days before I cut mine today and noticed that I think there's some blooms starting to show.
Oh, wow.
Which means we're probably first of next week. I bet we're cutting hay again, which is about right. I mean,
so it's kind of caught up.
I think.
Yeah, shortened that window.
But it's also been, alfalfa's every 28 days, 26, 28 days. It has been 3 weeks since we actually cut it. So we're actually not that far off. But a lot of times Memorial Day and then 4th of July. So, I mean, it's I think it did hurry along some.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're getting close. So we'll probably cut some more hay next week. And seems like we just got done, but I guess we've been done for a little bit. Here at the store, things are kind of clicking along fairly well.
Pun intended.
I think. Fairly decent. How about that?
There you go.
Oh, the jokes. Comedy coming at you. But no, it has been going well. Moving a lot of bulk feed right now to, different pasture situations. Got some guys feeding some calves, got some guys feeding some old cows out, and still got folks doing freezer beef and show feed and all that kind of stuff. So actually moving a fair amount of bulk feed right now. And then salt, mineral, lick tubs.
Yeah, sure.
The usual summer suspects, I guess, doing all that stuff too. Been kind of exciting. I don't know if we've been talking about it on here forever, but we have been looking at updating trucks and stuff. Did add another one to the fleet, so that has been fun. Ended up with a T880 Kenworth, so we were excited about that.
Yeah, sharp looking rig.
Yeah, it was nice. I have not really got a chance to use it yet, so just picked it up the other day, but a low mild and really well taken care of, so we're excited about that. It's going to go on the front of that combo trailer. I think that old International is going to go down the road.
Yeah,
well, it's going to get sold down the road. And so got a good truck for sale if you're looking. Unless you've listened to this podcast a lot, and then decent truck. But anyway, so got that going, excited to get it out and going. And yeah, I don't know. You were asking me the other night, like, what have we got going on? And I'm like, I don't know, but we have been ridiculously busy. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's kind of how June is. It's just nothing major, but
yeah,
man, it's just everything kind of early summer stuff just piles up, and yeah, there it goes, and yeah, settle into summer.
That's a fact.
Yep.
So, how about you?
Yeah, so I kind of been a while since we just done podcasts, so I haven't ate up a lot of time doing crop updates, but kind of been an odd spring. I'd say early crop growth has been very wildly inconsistent in this area. And I mean, there's some things kind of in our operation. I mean, if I was to grade myself on decisions I made this spring, I'd kind of give myself a C-.
Do you ever think bad things happen?
So, there's just, with the benefit of hindsight, there's some things I wish I would have done differently. I know there's some of that every year, but I feel like there's a lot more of it this year. So kind of to start with, talked about the cover crop on this podcast before, the wheat. And on the bright side, the cows are still super fat from that. I mean, they got fat in the winter. We had an easy winter, and about the time that wheat hardened off with the first frost, man, they really packed on the pounds. Didn't feed them that hard in calving because they were so fat. I thought they could drop a few pounds, but they kind of just stayed at that condition, and now they've been on grass for a couple months and they still look fat. So yeah, they're still paying dividends off the wheat. The cows did super good on it, and I didn't even graze it that hard. But kind of the negative side of that, not grazing it so hard, it strip-tilled terribly.
Yeah.
I mean, it got a lot of growth because it was after hail. It was like August 15th we drilled that. And it's just slab-like sod. It didn't really clear the strip. And then the lack of rain never got mellowed out.
Right.
So while we're planting, we had 2 really good rain chances. So we were just kind of pushing through planting and missed the first one. Then we missed the second one.
Yeah.
And then it turned pretty hot. Mm-hmm. So it was firing up pivots while I was trying to plant and everything. Sent the pivots around, came back and checked a little while later on them, and, still trying to do 3 things at once. Noticed like, oh man, some of this is so dry. The wheat got it so dry, I'm not even sure the first pivot pass got down to the seed on the corn.
Yeah.
So I had to send it around second time. Stand is horribly inconsistent. I mean, it's kind of evened out by this point, but
most of it's all there. Just
5-day
gap between emergence.
Probably, that 5 to 10 day. So really not pleased with that. And then, like I said, I should have sent the pivot around beforehand. Probably shouldn't have just, waited on rain chances. So,
well, like we had they were talking good chances, though.
Yeah, it was kind of that 2-day 90% chance, and on both of them.
Yeah,
missed them both. So then kind of some other stuff. Same thing, strip till dry, didn't get a good rain on it. Didn't get the evenness on the emergence on the corn that would have liked. The beans fared better just because I think they're planted shallower, so that first pass around at the pivot got them up and going good, but the corn being a little deeper, some of it, I think the water reached, some spots it didn't, so stand was, and plus the cool weather. About the time we got moisture, it got cool, so that didn't help it catch up any. And then on the Milo front, I was going to try.
I do love Milo.
So I drilled it all this year. I wanted to kind of see how that goes. And on most of it, it went okay. I do think I'll go back to using the planter. It just wasn't quite consistent enough to. And then in one field, kind of a bigger dryland field, hasn't been grazed in a couple of years. It's kind of a pain to fence off in water. So it hasn't been grazed. It's been corn on corn for a while. That was heavier trash and really disappointed with the stand on that. We'll see how it shakes out. But, I mean,
like tough stand kind of evenly though throughout the field, or like big patches that
that's what I got to see. Yeah, it's kind of it's thin in spots, but I'm not sure if that's how much of a problem that's going to be. I guess is what I'm getting.
Good thing about Milo is it will tiller out.
Yeah,
so you're probably all right.
And then the heavier trash, and I noticed a couple things, and I don't know what caused this, but it seems like the row will go blank for a strip, and then there'll be like 6 Milo plants just all in a bunch.
Huh.
So I don't know if that seed sat on top of the soil and the rain came, it kind of just ran or just was enough to roll it down to a certain spot and plant 5 seeds at once. But yeah, I just wasn't able to cut through that trash as well as I thought with the drill. So that's looking like that's probably the wrong call there to kind of drill Milo without doing any field prep, I guess. So.
Yeah. What spacing is your drill? I don't remember.
10 inch.
10, yeah.
Yep.
We drilled some Milo. It was on 15s. I actually liked the way it harvested better.
Yeah.
But I always thought I had a better stand with the planter.
Yeah. And I think kind of, lessons learned going forward is we did drill. So on some of the stuff we got hailed out, I did cane, and that got swathed in the fall.
Yeah.
So a pretty clean field. And I just I never drilled beans. I kind of want to do a little experiment here, see how yield comparison is. And this is obviously a low residue. So I'm going to try no-tilling some beans in. And so far I've been pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
But I think going forward, I think if I was learning from what I learned from the Milo on the residue with the beans, I'd want to run like a turbo till or something across first, and then maybe look into drilling beans. But I think no-tilling's probably not the way to go. This is kind of something I learned. And then we just the crops are looking better now. Some of the beans, just like you said, are kind of slow to get going. Cool weather. And then some of them got sprayed with a decent dew and burned them pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
It was just kind of, I don't know, just taking some of the shine off the crop, some of these early season issues. Some of them caused by me, some of them just weather related.
Right.
Like I said, just kind of all in all, just, hindsight would have done some things differently, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, which is probably fair.
Yeah. Every year you learn something, but you just kind of, this early on, you hate knowing you got to watch those mistakes for the rest of the summer. So,
well, and there's still time. I mean, some of that it'll outgrow, and some of it just probably is what it is.
Yeah, I know it.
But I've also heard, out of all the things that we can fret and stew and worry about, all the things that we can control, all the things that we can actually impact, it's like less than 20% of the final yield of the crop. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yep, I know it. At this point, there's nothing you can change, but
no, we can cut it all for hay if you want.
Like I said, I mean, if you never try anything different, how do you move forward?
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah, for real.
Sometimes some of those things work, some of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like more of the changes I made didn't work that did. So
yeah, and
that's just a little frustrating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's years that are that way. Like, boy, there's days you step off the back porch and you just can't help but do awesome. And then there's other years you think, man, like, I am purposely trying to make better decisions, do things a better way, and it just isn't going. And
yeah, so that's kind of part of it. I mean, always a learning process, and like I said, you take risks, they don't always pan out. So.
Yeah, once upon a time, somebody put rice in sloppy Joe mix, and because they thought maybe that didn't ever pan out. And so, and you heard me. Like, if you're one of those people that you do that, stop. And if you like that, you're also part of the problem. Like, stop doing that. So at least you weren't that person.
I've never witnessed that, actually.
Really?
So that's the first I've heard of
Oh, it's not good.
it. Okay. Well, I believe you.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about sloppy joes, and putting rice in them is not good.
Not it.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. It's not great.
But yeah, I guess it kind of up to date. I was got a whole spring recap, but just got pipe out. We had like a 4-day stretch of 100 degrees and windy, and so
We did too.
that's kind of odd this far north of the equator.
Yeah, I know. But we were humid also.
Oh, well, yeah. So, but yeah, so got the pipe out, kind of got across some of the rows, and then got the rain. But so that was kind of the latest thing. And I don't know. I always find it funny that we call it gravity flow, and then you get in the flat country, and it's called flood. And it's the same practice, just ran two completely different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Ours is kind of how wide can you open the gate so it doesn't run through the field too fast, and here's how wide you have to open the gate to just get it to push
To get it pushed through.
It really is flood. And this, I mean, it's awesome here, but
yeah,
kind of a different animal down there.
Yeah, a little bit. What do you do? The 3-point piece of machinery that you pull through the field?
That's a ridger.
And when you're out doing that, you are
ridging.
Okay. So that's what we say here in the valley also, but back home it was ditching.
Which I'd never heard of that. I've heard hilling.
Yeah, the old men, like, oh, you done hilling corn?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it was ditching. We were ditching corn.
And they all make sense.
Yeah, it does, but ridging makes more sense. Because you're not ditch till, but you could be ridge till.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
And you're not hill till.
Not hill till. That's a cool term.
Yeah, it could
we
catch
need
on.
to bring that back.
That's what they do in Wayne, I think, up in northeast Nebraska. That's hill till.
Hill till, yeah. That's true.
Like, I don't know
That's
how
a fair
those
point.
guys get away with pulling a disc up a 30-degree slope. Like,
Man.
I have one piece that it is so flat, you can see from one end to the other. Like, if you held up 3 fingers at the far end of the field, you could see that. There's not, across that whole terrain, there's not 1.5 feet of drop or rise. And it's classified as highly erodible, partially because it's so close to the river.
Okay.
It doesn't erode anything. Water doesn't run off of there. It runs to there.
Yeah.
Like, it ponds on that field. But somehow you got guys doing conventional tillage in northeast Nebraska on some of that. They must have some heavy stuff up there.
There's someone from up there talked about one field, or at least a part of one field. They could only combine in one direction because if they tried combining uphill, it sent too much over the sieves.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And I'm not picking on you guys up there. Like, if
that's just
if that's the practice it takes to make it work where you're at, that boggles my mind. But
yeah,
everybody's got quad tracks and 4-track deers because that's what it takes. To pull a piece of equipment. But
that's the thing. I don't think you could take a farmer from anywhere and transplant them into a different area, and they'd be just as successful as much as they like to pretend they are on social media.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that. Back in the day, I used to be, well, I'm so old, I was on Twitter when it was still called Twitter. And I finally just decided enough of it because there was so much like, you're an idiot, no, you're an idiot stuff. And like, who cares? Like, I don't care how you farm, where you farm.
Right.
In fact, some of it's really fascinating to me. It's kind of like the weather, right? Like, you walk outside and it's hot and sunny, so you assume it's that way everywhere. Then I call my brother in southeast Nebraska. He's like, no, it's been cloudy and raining here all day. Same way with farming. Like, what we do here doesn't make sense for you, and you're only 20 miles south of me. So, yeah, everybody just calm down.
I know. Just assume everybody has it figured out for their area.
Right. Why do you care what some guy in Iowa, how he farms?
I know. No, I don't understand.
Nah, I don't either. Get over that. Grow up. Everybody.
That'd be a good reality TV show. Like, instead of like wife swap, it's farm swap.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And you just send farmers to different parts and watch them farm the ground and see how their yields are, and maybe make it like a competition as well. Whoever gets within the same percentage of the average yield, the highest, wins.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I think that's
That
a
would be a good
fantastic. Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. Go do it. See if you can hit their trend projected yields.
I like this. All right. Do they have to stay within like their, like, raising crops that they are familiar. So, like, if you're a corn and bean guy, like, I'm not going to go to a pumpkin farm.
Yeah,
That's
I'm thinking like corn and beans. But you take
yeah.
Illinois and send them to North Dakota, and you send a North Dakota guy to Texas, and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And they take whatever equipment they want to farm with.
Oh yeah, if you're so smart with all your equipment, you take it with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like that. What if somebody did better?
I bet there would be some people that would do a little bit better, I would think.
I like this idea.
Because, I mean, here I go, probably going against exactly what we just talked about. But there definitely are areas of farm that are way more forgiving than others. So I think you take someone to a less forgiving area and put them in a more forgiving area. You would think their mistakes would, it'd be less impactful than someone going from a more forgiving place to a less forgiving place.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely like that.
I think that'd be a good show.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you can have the people tell the farmer that moved into their area exactly everything they did wrong.
Yo, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Yes, I think that's a great idea.
Can you imagine someone from Indiana, Illinois going to Kansas and learning they have to re-nozzle pivots 4 times through the summer?
Yeah.
After they probably just found out how to run a pivot, and then they're like 2 towers aren't even watering anymore, and they have no idea why.
Yeah.
That would be fun to watch.
Do they get like a cheat sheet booklet, or they just got to figure it out?
Maybe make it like Survivor, where they do a scavenger hunt to get a clue.
Find a box of nozzles for the pivot. I like that. Oh, I mean, they can, the old-fashioned way, go to the coffee shop, and everybody there will tell them what they're doing wrong.
I was just thinking, like, that's where you'd have to see how many people would be willing to swallow their pride and, like, go to the local businesses, say that, go to their local Valley dealer and be like, hey, why is this going on? Or if people would just try to figure it out on their own.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think we ought to implement that. We will be waiting to hear from the executives at Fox.
Oh, yeah.
About this new reality show.
Yeah, we don't have the startup money for that.
No, but we have the title. We're going to call it So You Think You Can Farm? And,
are you smarter than a no-tiller? No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not going to drum up any hate mail.
Or a conventional tiller. I really have nothing against either one.
Who wants to
But it's fun to watch them fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Just yeah, and why stop there? Let's do animal ag also while we're at it.
Oh, man. Well, the stakes are a little higher on that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of living critters there.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'd have a trained veterinarian staff on staff.
Because I bet you put me in charge of 200,000 chickens. I don't see that ending well.
No, but you have to stay. You have to stay within your commodity.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're a cow calf, you got to stay.
Oh yeah.
You're just not running like 15 cows per pasture in
I
Missouri.
could see me making mistakes with fescue. I know how tricky that stuff
that
is.
could kill something.
I know.
We should probably have a trained veterinarian on staff.
See, that's what I'm worried about is just...
You mean, well, you said living, but like corn lives.
Well...
Plant lives matter.
Yeah, do
Jared. And I suppose like certain confinement operations are probably fairly similar. Probably get hate mail for that. But I mean, like a hog barn is probably very similar practices, whether you're in Kansas or Minnesota or, although I know a guy that he'll probably text me when he listens to this and be like, actually, and so that's fine. Let me know. But yeah, I want nothing to do
with it. Or you get us used to kind of semi-docile Angus cattle going down and dealing with Bramers.
Oh,
beef masters.
Yuck.
Yeah.
And then some of those guys that are running like Longhorns come up here and see what Angus can do. And they're like, oh, man, this is way better. I'm never going home.
Yeah, they'll be squatters and we can't get them back out.
Yeah. And then we make Clay do Herefords. Good times.
Yep.
So we're going to get off this before we do get in trouble. So the other night, Owen comes in and he'd been out riding the dirt bike. He'd been riding it pretty hard. And he comes in, he's like, Dad, I think we got a problem. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, well, the clutch made some noise, and so I shut it off quick. And he's like, then I fired it back up. And he's like, yeah, it won't go in gear, and the clutch lever feels like it's jello and all this stuff. All right, well, I'll go look at it. I bet you just broke clutch cable or something. So went out and looked at it, squeezing the clutch, like, no, cable's all moving, the linkage is moving. And you're right, it does not feel good. I don't know. It was more than I thought I had time to tie into. And so we took it up to the Kawasaki dealer in North Platte. And I was kind of telling him what it was doing. He's like, oh, I bet it's just the clutch plates, and the clutch probably burned them out. I said, I don't really think so. Like, I think that whole basket is probably junk. And he's like, oh, no. He's like, I doubt that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it did not be, it could be, but I don't know. Something felt kind of a mess there. So anyway, I don't know. But going down to see the family here, actually, I think we're leaving tomorrow sometime, going back home. Got a nephew having a birthday party. My brother and his family, they all ride dirt bikes. So we're going to take the bikes down. Well, we don't have the bike back yet.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
And I took that little Kawasaki I bought too up there. It needed a little tune-up, so took it too. Well, that's neither one of them are done. And so anyway, called Steve. You'll remember Steve from a couple episodes ago. From Ackerley Diesel. And he's got a bunch of bikes. And I'm like, hey, man, like, I kind of need a favor. And he's like, yeah, like, come get them. So he's got a 125 4-stroke we're going to grab for Owen. And then we're going to grab one of his big bikes. And he's got a 2-stroke 300 that it likes to saw wood. So we're going to grab them. And I thought maybe he was going to come in tonight, actually. I think he's going to bring the bikes by, but I told him to come in and jump on the podcast, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it in time for that. But anyway, so we're going to load those up. So I don't know. I'm optimistically excited. I'm afraid after a weekend on those bikes, maybe our bikes won't be as fun.
It'll be hard to go back. That'll happen.
Maybe we can work a long-term agreement with Steve. And but then for Owen's birthday, he was wanting all of his cousins to come out, and we've got kind of a motocross course down in we call it the Gulch. It's a draw behind the house, and wants them to all come out and ride. Well, that's the following week. And so I don't know. We might have to borrow them yet for next weekend too. But
yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to that. Just kind of letting off a little steam and just letting
that'll be a good time.
Yeah, letting them things bark a little bit. So I don't know. It'll be fun. Dude, I tell you, I don't want to be one of them like, oh man, the sky's always falling and everything's terrible and, whatever. Lately, it has been kind of just a continuation of things. Actually, we're a little late cutting the podcast here. It's probably 7:00, quarter after. And we're going to start at 5:30, and we're supposed to be getting a load of bulk feed in today. We're putting a bunch of it on a straight truck, some in a bulk bin and some in a feeder. And some of that's going to get delivered out to different places tomorrow. Originally, it was supposed to be here today. Then it wasn't going to be here till tomorrow. So we adjusted plans, and then it was going to show up, but not till 5:30. And so, okay, that's great. We'll make that all work. Well, then showed up, and it was fine. He was offloading. I went to fire up the bulk truck so that we could move while he was filling it and do different things. Well, it doesn't want to start, so you got to be part of that, obviously.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click. I don't know. Brought the pickup around, threw jumper cables on just in case. I didn't really think that's what it was, but figured it couldn't hurt. Voltmeter was running a little low, so we did put them on. Finally grabbed a hammer and tapped on the starter, and then boom, it fires right up.
Start right away.
So I don't know what its malfunction is. But that truck, so a week ago, doing some stuff, driver calls me. He's like, hey, we got a situation. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like, what kind of situation? Well, he was going through a town, and he was going over the overpass, and he met somebody else in a pickup that was, I don't know, but the pickup box was fuller than it should have been with miscellaneous items. Right as he was meeting him, a box blew out of the back. Well, there was other vehicles, and he could basically hit the guardrail, hit another vehicle, or run over the box. That was kind of his choices, and he's like, well, I ran over the box. Not exactly. There was nothing important in it. I mean, like an old radiator cap and a bunch of nuts and bolts and just some various random stuff. Whatever was in there, though, decided to jab a humongous hole in the steer tire.
Oh, yeah.
Driver's side steer tire. And it let all the air out right now. And so he got it shut down. He got it kind of limped off the overpass and off to the side of the road as much as he could. But, I mean, it completely ruined the tire, which there was nothing he was going to do about it. In the process, flopping tire went ahead and tore the air line off the front brake pot, tore the return line off the power steering where it goes back to the reservoir, so it dumped all that, and then tore all the wiring out of the left front blinker. Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is manageable. Nobody got hurt. Nothing super detrimental happened, except it happened like an hour away from here. And I'm like, so Wife quick looked up what co-op was around, and the guys out at Highline Co-op out by Sutherland, we appreciate them very much, had a tire. They were willing to go out and put it on the side of the road for him. So that solved half the problem. So now we got a new steer tire, but we still have air line and hydraulic or oil line for the power steering and all that. Like, I don't know. So, well, there was a CarQuest and Farm Store in Sutherland. So I called that guy, and he was super, super helpful. Very, very appreciative to those folks. Thought maybe he had enough parts and pieces. So he ran out there to see what he needed, went back to the store. He had all the airline stuff he needed. He had all the hose he needed. We just run like 10W30 for power steering fluid in those trucks. And so he had everything, like, I think an hour. And we had the tire fixed. We had the truck put back together. Driver was back on the road.
Sweet.
And he was able to finish what he was doing and get home. And then he just rewired blinker stuff after he got home. So super great. There are still good people in the world.
Absolutely.
If you are hauling a bunch of junk in the back of your pickup, put a tarp on it or something. Because the tire situation was not cheap.
No, I don't doubt.
Which was not, I mean, that's not their fault. It's just tires in general are not cheap.
Exactly.
And service call. I mean, I totally expect to pay, like, I'm not complaining about their price, but boy, that cost us a lot of money for somebody to haul a garage sale find halfway home.
Right.
So shame on you if that's you. It's probably not. It didn't sound like somebody that listens to our podcast from the description. So anyway, we got that remedied. Very grateful for good folks that are still willing to help out of town truck drivers and all that stuff. So anyway, grateful for that. I guess that's your reminder that you never know. You don't know what kind of day somebody else is having or how big a trouble they might be in or how far from home they are. So if you can help somebody, it's probably the right thing. Well, not probably. It is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
So that was a hoot.
No, sounds like it.
But we got that handled. So
always something.
Yeah, now we're just waiting for the next thing.
Waiting for the next thing. That's right.
I'm sure there'll be something tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. So, always an adventure, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So I don't know. What else you got going on?
Hey, no, let's see. Probably start fertigating here soon. So kind of at the rate. Was going to do it sooner, but between the 100 degrees and heat, didn't think that was, and the wind, that's probably not the most efficient way to apply fertilizer. Then we got a rain. So probably as soon as it dries out, we'll just have to send pivots around pretty quick, just get that shot on. So, kind of first year juggling quite a few pivots. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
See what kind of bugs we run into with that. Then, cows just went out today, sprayed flies. Boy, they really picked up the intensity in that heat. It seemed like a lot of flies came out. Already started treating some pink eyes.
Yeah, I've heard, we have not, but I've heard some other people talk about that.
And I don't think it's because the grass is tall. I think they've been bunching so bad and swishing a lot of tails. I think it's just been friendly fire. I think tail switches might have been scarring those eyes and getting that ball rolling.
Could be.
So treated a few, got them sprayed today, was kind of wanting to wait till after the rain chances went by. So I'm still working on the Mr. recipe for fly spray. So I'm we'll see how this round goes. We're getting a little more dialed in each year, but trying to find something that can last a little bit with still having good knockdown power on the flies. But so that's, you hate starting the pink eye war this early on.
For real.
That's usually kind of an August deal, but so if we can I'm hoping we can get it shut down pretty quick, and then we'll be rotating pasture soon. And one benefit that came out of hail last year is I preconditioned early and moved cows to a different pasture because that pasture just got hailed off too soon. I'm like, well, if we're going to get them caught anyway, might as well maybe just precondition, save something later.
Yeah.
And that was mid-July. And then I decided to put the fly tags in the calves then. And I didn't have any issues with pink eye the rest of the way out. So I think I might become standard practice. I might just start doing that whenever we get ready to rotate pasture middle of July. I think I might just catch them, put fly tags in them, precondition them then. And then, probably cows do their kind of their breeding shots. And yeah, so I don't know, something different than what he usually did, but liked how it worked last year. And
Yeah.
might just start making that standard practice.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I've heard a little pink eye talk already, and like I said, knock on wood, we have not had any trouble yet, but I've heard some folks talking about it. So
Haven't had a real nasty outbreak, but you got to nip that in the bud before it really starts going.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, right now we're kind of waiting to see if it's just going to turn into a problem or if it's just going to be kind of a one-off with the heat and the fly pressure being so bad.
yeah, what the malfunction was for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, for real. So or shift gears a little bit again, but got a good looking shirt on there today.
Oh, yeah.
T-shirt with a pocket on it.
Yes.
One of the sayings that I am a fan of is handy as a pocket on a shirt.
Yeah.
But is a pocket on a T-shirt all that handy?
No.
That has been my experience as well.
Because I'm usually wearing pearl snaps.
Right.
Usually throw a T-shirt on if I shower and then go somewhere. But yeah, you kind of get used to that snap pocket, and that's more convenient.
Yep.
But pocket on a T-shirt, you bend over and things fall out of. And
Yep. Ink pen don't even stay in very well.
No, they're not deep enough to hold pens, really.
Yeah. You can't put your phone in it or a billfold. Or
No, it's
nuts
just
and
kind of a
bolts.
temporary holding spot. It's
Yeah.
kind of how you got to treat it. Probably my favorite thing I've heard about pockets on a T-shirt is I had a neighbor that worked for the state for a while, and he's like, yeah, I just need them to sew these pockets upside down so the handle of the shovel fits in there so when I lean on it, it doesn't slip off and hit me in the face.
Right. Hey, that brings up a good point. I'm sure there is reasons why. So we have caught a little rain here, but as of late, like maybe 1.5 inches over like 3 days. So what is kind of crazy in our neighborhood is there is a species, and I was trying to think of the scientific name. I think it is Rhodius maintainus. Super rare to see. Yeah, I think they're on the endangered species list because we just don't hardly ever see them. Which I don't completely understand because really I don't know if it's a food source that they're short or just why they don't come around. But the area in which they live is plentiful. I mean, their habitat, like there is tons of habitat.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know.
That.
We have got ruts in our road that are like deep.
Yeah.
I mean, deep.
I
like
bet.
we're probably talking, and I mean, this is a gravel county road. I mean, anywhere from 6 inches to a foot deep in places.
Yeah.
And sorry, this is, some people are probably thinking like, yeah, well, that's tough. Why don't you do the farmer swap thing and see where I live? Like, but for us, like, I am not impressed with that.
Right.
I really think, and I'm not picking on them. Like, there's probably reasons, I suppose, but I do pay my taxes, and I wish we would maintain the road a little bit better. But I think part of the problem is they really don't drag them very often at all in our part of the world.
You guys' washboards are pretty nasty.
They are, and when so everybody, they'll get rutted up like they are now. We'll effectively just drive them back smooth ourselves.
Yep.
And at some point they'll come drag them, and then they just put loose fluffy dirt in the track.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get this rain, it just, you blow them out.
Back out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wish we could get a little more activity out of the road grader.
That's another reality show. Is just see if put farmers in a maintainer. Well, I mean, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a firm believer you got to put yourself in the other people's shoes. Like, I'm not the person who just likes to critique other professions I really know nothing about. So I know there's things. I don't know if it's short staff, budget issues. There could be all that stuff.
Yep.
But there's also simple physics involved, like a crown in the road so water sheds off. Pretty simple concept.
Right.
If your shoulders are higher than the road, that's going to be a problem. That's a pretty simple concept. Like those things, no matter how you cut it, that seems kind of basic.
Yeah.
Like, I can't understand why that hasn't been able to been figured out on some of the roads.
Yeah. If you grade a road 6 times a year, it probably stands to reason that it's going to come apart when it rains.
Yeah.
Like there's just not enough. Because like really, they should have been out there today when like
soft.
It wasn't muddy, but it was damp.
Yeah.
And been working them
And
things
actually cut the road.
back together.
Not just push gravel from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Put a cut in it.
And like you said, I am not picking. I understand short-staffed budget situations, but I mean,
if you're the guy that stops the maintainer on the road to chew him out, like, shame on you.
oh yeah,
Come on. I mean, those guys aren't making the calls.
right. And I am not specific. Our road maintainer guy does pretty well. It's just we don't see him very often.
Yeah.
And I know I am sure that's not his decision.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know, like, I mean, borderline dangerous.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So
Well, that's the thing. Our road gets muddy. It's kind of, it can get impassable at points if it gets a good soak on it. Like someone made the comment, if someone needed an ambulance, being an EMT, I'm not sure we would make it there. I really don't think, because it's not 4-wheel drive and dualed.
right.
I feel pretty confident we would probably end up in the ditch before we were able to make it through the canyon south of town. And I mean, that's got to matter to some degree.
Yeah. And like I said, I probably sound like I'm complaining, and I'm mostly being concerned. So if you are somebody that's listening that can do something, like, don't get all offended. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
I'm wondering why we can't do a little more.
And it just kind of seems like it's just getting to be a growing problem.
It is getting worse as time goes.
It does. So that's probably the thing that troubles me more, is just knowing, like, it just progressively keeps getting worse, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. I was wondering if our neighborhood ought to go together and just buy a big, like, pull-type grader blade, and, like, it just gets parked at this place. Like,
it makes you wonder if it's going to start moving. I mean, I know there's legality issues, but I could see that starting to move that direction.
Like, everybody takes a turn pulling it, or
yeah.
If you don't like how the road looks, it's your day then to hook onto it. But I don't know. Anyway, it is just.
I just kind of want to know from the other side what hurdles they're facing, and before I really pass judgment.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And I don't know. I kind of wonder a little bit what other demands are being put on them, because I know there is, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of miles of county road there is, probably just in our county. I'm sure there's other.
And it's broken up by township still, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. And I am sure there is other restraints, like, that are pulling out of the budget, and there's responsibilities, and maybe they don't agree with it either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I understand. I do understand that, but I don't know. Just, it's maybe more of a call to action as much as anything. Like, hey, is there something we can do before this stuff does get?
It's just, it's like I said, it's just the worsening condition is what is kind of concerning to me, I guess.
Yeah.
When things are not holding steady or making minor progress. It is really getting worse.
Yeah, it is. And you know,
the road I'm talking about is a pretty main road in our area. It is probably the main road for quite a while because it connects two highways.
Yeah.
And they can't even keep that in halfway decent shape. Like, I mean, that's got to be a priority.
Yeah. You know, our road services a fair amount of neighborhood. Like, it's not like we're the only house on there. And it is kind of the main road to get back into the hills, into the one main canyon.
There's not very many canyon roads.
So, I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. It sounds like I'm complaining, and I'm 10% complaining.
Like I said, it's just, for me, I just want to know what's going on on the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and throw stones until I know what they're up against.
Right.
But, something's got to change at some point. So,
because it's going to start getting dangerous.
It is.
And I know, because I am of that opinion too. Like, you got to have a lick of sense yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that. But I mean, when the road itself starts to become a hazard beyond just the natural hazard of driving, but like you shouldn't be getting sucked off the road when you're in the middle of the road.
Or if you're having to plan your trips around weather forecasts because you know the road's not going to be good to you, or you might not be able to make it. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, a road should always be drivable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough complaining about that.
Okay. What are we going to complain about now?
I don't know. What should we complain about?
Oh, boy.
Should we complain about? No.
No.
We don't want to complain too much. But rest assured, there's plenty more we could complain about.
We sure could.
I don't know. Should we do BSB time?
Yeah, that's just what I was just thinking. Okay. So
Hey, this episode of BSB is brought to you by Fitz at Ag Works. Go see Ben and the good people down there in eastern Nebraska, really anywhere east of Highway 81. He is an ag leader, certified service and sales dealer down there. You know, this time of year, maybe sprayers are giving you fits a little bit. We're kind of...
They've been putting some hours on.
Yeah. We're done with planting time, hopefully. Maybe, although with all the rain, maybe you got some stuff flooded out. Maybe somebody is patching something in, but hopefully you're got the planter put away for the year. But yeah, maybe sprayer issues or a fertilizer spreader possibly of some sort. So if that's acting up or it's time to update it, go see Ben and the good folks there at Fitz at Ag Works. Yeah, I don't know what it says on my sheet, ad lib with Jared for a while. So did we cover, we probably got that covered, I suppose.
I think so.
I think he also does a little just wrenching and mechanicking, some light duty stuff down there as well. So yeah, if the old haying tractor maybe needs a TA put in it, you know, maybe Ben can do that. Just show up and say, hey, the guys at Farmer Tan podcast said you could do this. So
yeah, you can do whatever.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. If you've got a tractor with a TA, if you don't know what a TA is, don't worry about it. If you have one with a TA, then you already know there's two types. There's ones that are out and there's ones that are going out. And so maybe the raking tractor or the baling tractor needs that. Go down there and get that checked out. Ben at Fitz at Ag Works. Hey, Jared, if it's broke,
It's it.
All right. So you said you had one today.
I know. We're in the full swing of summer, so I was thinking, man, what summer activities would be good for BSB? So here's our three choices. You got fishing, going to a rodeo,
okay,
or like day at the lake, boat and swimming kind of style.
Fishing, rodeoing, day at the lake.
Yep.
So I need to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Well, no. Hey, I'm just. I need some. Okay. Is it a nighttime rodeo, or like middle of the day rodeo?
Well, most of these rodeos go long, so they start kind of when that sun's just beating down on the back, just the right angle where it's just kind of scorching you, but it ends with a nice cool evening.
Yeah.
Probably some skiers come out. Let's be real.
Oh yeah. Are we fishing about the same time? Probably. Are we like night fishing?
No, I've never done night
or
fishing.
Morning fishing.
You could do whenever. I don't know.
All right. What kind of boat though? Well, I mean, like, do we got a blown big block Chevy on this boat, or is it like a pontoon and we're just kind of doing some stuff?
It's a boat within our means.
Yeah, so a canoe. And we're going to have to paddle hard to get that. Okay, so I like the fishing part because one of my boys really enjoys fishing and I like to spend time with him. As far as me and being a spectator, I'm probably buying rodeo and selling the fishing, and I'm probably burning Lake Day to the ground. I could probably interchange the fishing and the rodeo because of spending that time with my son. So, because I do enjoy spending that time with him. He is such a much better fisherman than I am, and his knowledge surpasses anything I know so much that I really don't know. Like, he is truly the expert, so I'm just kind of there to hang out with him, which is fine, and I do enjoy that. But he is also like a full contact fisherman, so if we find a spot and we fish it hard for 5 or 10 minutes and there's no activity, we're moving. Because, like, Dad, if they're not biting in 10 minutes, they're not biting. We got to go over. So, I'm not looking to hike around a lake and fish. So that gives rodeo the slight edge because I can usually sit in one spot. So, yeah, Lake Day. I'm okay with Lake Day, but my wife is not a big fan of any of that kind of activity. She doesn't like water like in her face and all that. So our boys like to play in the lake. Sometimes we got Jeffrey up here and they got a public dock and we'll go up there and hang out in the evening and let them jump off the dock and do that kind of stuff. And that's okay. But so yeah, probably burning that to the ground.
Yep. No, I'd say it's pretty similar order, which I would say before having a family, it'd been rodeo by a country mile. before the other two.
Agreed.
But kind of the same thing with you. Elliot is really taken to fishing and just seeing, I mean, he's 5 years old. The level of interest he's taking, and the kid doesn't lack confidence. We haven't caught anything all summer, spring. We've been trying, and his confidence is not rattled one bit. I mean, he's 5 years old. He thinks he's got it all figured out.
Oh yeah.
Like I told you before, there's only two people he'll listen to, and that's my older brother Scott and Owen. So,
Right.
so I kind of stopped just because, like you said, Owen mostly figured it out on his own.
Yeah, he did.
And Elliot's that confident, he's not really listening to me anyway. And I'm like, you know what? He's going to probably learn a lot more doing it his way than probably me trying to figure out, because I've never been a great fisherman. I don't have the patience for it.
I'm not either.
But now I'm starting to treat it kind of like golf. Like, it bothers me that I'm not good at it, and I kind of want to figure out why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I fish with him when we go. I got a permit, so I don't get to do a lot of fishing because most of my time's spent untangling lines and swapping lures for the boys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't get to do it that much, but man, it's just, I want to figure out why it's not working.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So I kind of treat it like a challenge.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably still rodeo, because both boys like that as well. They
Yeah.
like going to rodeo. I think probably the only bummers, we don't have a lot of high level rodeos in our area. You kind of got to travel to hit the main circuit rodeos. So,
Yeah.
but we still like going, and both boys like that. And then fishing, just because, like I said, it's just as much interest as Elliot, and Cole likes it too, probably just not to the same degree, but
Right.
I just like that they like something outside, and how gun-ho he is about it. I just kind of I think that's a good hobby to feed, I think.
Yeah.
Sure beats a lot of other hobbies they could have. And I don't understand the lake day thing. I really don't. Some people could, they do live.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
that's
mean,
almost
literally.
a dumb comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close.
I just don't get it. I don't.
I can sort of see why that is fun for people.
I can see it.
But it is not fun for me.
Yeah.
Now-
I've been tubing. Yeah. Good time.
Right.
But man, I don't know.
Yeah. If you've got like a blown big block Chevy on methanol, and you've got a big old blower poking up there and a big cam that lopes when it idles around, and you're ready to go crack that thing wide open, I'd probably hop on there with you. But like pontoon boat floating stuff,
Yeah.
like that,
But if you think about it, even
or maybe a pontoon
your
with a big block
high
Chevy.
even your high horsepower boat, the lakes that would go good in,
aren't here.
or if they are, they're huge attractions.
Oh, yeah,
And there's so many boats out there, you're not turning that thing loose because there's too much traffic going around.
Right.
A lot of our lakes are just dammed up canyons.
Yeah.
Not great boating lakes because
Yep.
they are just a bunch of fingers and a real narrow and skinny.
Yeah.
You don't really have it's kind of like a freeway with exits on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main freeway is pretty clogged because that's pretty skinny. You're not going to turn it loose
Yeah.
usually because there's other boats using that as well. And
Yeah.
you're not going to yeet it up one of those draws because you're going to ground yourself.
Yeah. And if I'm looking to run 80 mile an hour across the water. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna,
We don't have a lot of big, expansive lakes that don't just pull every boat within
Right.
a 100-mile radius to it.
right. Yeah. For a fact.
Now, if I'm going to lake, I want to get away from people. I'm not really looking to go
Right.
be around a lot of people.
Yeah, and I understand it's the community part of it, probably kind of, but that has been interesting to me a little bit. Is you get away to the lake and you're literally 6 feet away from
Yeah.
your neighbor's cabin. And I'm
Right.
like, man, that. But I understand if you like your neighbors or you're hanging out. I get all that, but
And that's just kind of goes back to the city versus rural people. I know the city people are like, oh, I just love the energy of the city. And they come out to rural and they just, I don't know,
bored to
it's the
tears.
yeah, I don't know. I don't understand this whole energy of the city thing, but some people just need to be around people. And
Yeah.
it's a lot, I'm fine by myself.
And it's interesting. And so I really used to be that way. The older I get, I still need to be around people. I will say the older I get, the more selective I am about
Yeah,
the people I
sure.
want to be around. And I don't mean that in a bad way,
Right.
but somebody'd be having a function and like, yeah, man, let's go, and maybe I only know 3 or 4 of the people there, but that didn't matter because by the time I left, I knew everybody there,
Right.
type of thing.
Sure.
I honestly don't have the energy to do that like that anymore. Like, not that I know enough people that I don't need to know any new ones. I don't mean any of that, but I'd rather have like your family over. Like, let's just do supper, hang out. You know, I don't need to go be in a humongous setting with 500 other people. Like, I'm just not looking to do that really. And
I remember kind of, younger days, you're just thinking social gathering. Oh, there's a chance to meet new people and everything. Right. And you always have intentions like that going in, but man, as an introvert, you go in and you find yourself doing what you always do, hiding in a dark corner, and you leave like, I wonder why I didn't meet anybody.
Right. Yeah. You know, I have, and you might find this hard to believe, I have never really been introverted. I've always kind of been the extrovert, but maybe it is. So part of your job in sales is to visit with people.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're done with that, I'm kind of ready to be done for a while.
I get that.
And I'm still down with being around a close group of friends. Like anytime, like you could call me anytime, be like, hey, you want to come over for supper? And I'll be like, yeah. Really, the only reason I actually don't invite myself over to your house all the time is it's a little bit of a drive to get there.
It's true.
If we live 10 miles apart, an easy 10 miles, because we're probably, I guess I've never actually figured it out.
I was going to say, the way the crow flies, we're probably, 15 miles apart?
Yeah, maybe.
But 30 miles
to get there?
The way the roads work.
Yeah. Certainly, if you lived like 5 miles away.
Oh, yeah.
Molly'd be like, dude, seriously, you need to tell him.
Probably be a little aggravated.
Tell him not to come over anymore. But, so, I mean, I'm
like, well, I guess I'll just go over there then.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that sounds great. We were hoping you would. So, I mean, I'm always down for that sort of thing, but it is interesting. And the older I get, if you've been following along with this episode, like we have a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I want my time to count. And so I want to spend that with people I enjoy, like that I really connect with, and not just people in general. Does that make sense?
Well, and I kind of found this out mostly with parenthood. If you're going to hang out with friends, they kind of have to match your schedule as well. Their schedules have to be pretty similar.
Yeah.
Like middle of the day on a weekday obviously doesn't work for either of us.
Right.
And with kids, there's just certain times that don't work, and we understand each other has to be flexible.
Yep.
I think that's kind of one of the bigger shifts in friendship is kind of when you became a parent, when your friends still weren't parents.
Big time.
It's hard. And I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just hard to understand parenthood until you're a parent, and how much a newborn can dictate your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and like you've been to our house, beat on the door, step over whatever's burning on the porch and come on in. Like, and I think it's funny because like if Cole and Elliot want to run around and raise Cain and like drink pop on the couch and spill chips on the floor, like you're going to have to try pretty hard to outdo Owen. And so I'm like, come on over, man. Like, it ain't no problem over here. We're used to it.
We've talked about this several times, and I know, just about everybody listening can relate to this, but you don't mind going to someone's house and it's not perfectly up and tidy and in order. It almost actually relaxes you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, fine.
Yep.
People actually live in their houses. What a concept, like we do.
Yep.
But when it comes to hosting, it's like, we just got to get everything pristine and stuff. And man, you spend the whole day kind of so stressed out. By the time you get to the evening, you're kind of on edge and burned out.
Yeah, you're wore out. Wish they'd go home. Please leave by 9.
So I don't know if we could just get past that as a society. Like,
I know.
Like we all live in our houses, and
it's interesting to me. We will do same way. And our house gets very lived in sometimes. And we may have even told this on
I was going to say, one of your favorite quotes is like, if we need to have you over, because if we don't have a reason to clean our house soon, we're just going to have to move.
Yeah. We're to the point.
It's going to get to that point. It's just,
we either need to move or burn it down.
I totally understand
that. We were having one of those moments. You came to help us do some cow work.
Yeah.
Weather was not anticipated to be sketchy. We were going to get done with cow work and maybe just run into town for a bite to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And, about the time we were getting done, like this monster storm shows up. And
you could tell it brewing the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
As a cattle drive, we're driving to it.
Yep. We were driving
Staring
right at it. Yeah. And boy, it keeps getting darker and darker, and we're like, boy, we'd better hurry. And that last half a mile, like, we're not all about running cows, but we were hustling.
Yep.
I think got them there, got the fence pulled tight about the time it started to rain, got back to the house about the time it got ugly, and you're like, is it all right if I hang out here for a while?
And you just kind of got the blank look on your face.
You mean in the house? Okay.
It's like, oh no.
I guess. So, oh man, I don't know. It's, you know what? Get over it. Everybody lives in their house. And
honestly, I don't have a mental picture of what it looked like. All I remember is the look on your face, but I don't remember what the house looked like.
Someday I need to get figured out when you guys have been incredibly busy. I'm going to pop in and be like, there, got that out of the way. Now none of us have to worry.
Yeah. And I mean, those sketches crack me up when it's like what my mom thinks when people come to our house, like they just step through the front door and just sprint up to the bedroom and just open the door and peek under the bed.
Right.
Like no one's doing that.
Right. Nobody cares, man. Well, hey, I was thinking we have been talking about this for a while, and let's bust out a new segment, huh?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, this one is going to be, hey, this segment is brought to you today by Gothenburg Irrigation here in Gothenburg. We appreciate Joe and all them good folks down there. And we are going to call this one, Water You Looking At? And what I have noticed is sometimes Google likes to pre-populate like what it thinks you're going to search for.
Yeah.
And how often that has nothing to do with what you're actually looking up.
Yeah, it's a good sociology experiment. Like, wait, what are people?
Yeah.
That's nothing what I was going for. But
right.
Yeah.
So we're going to try that today, and we are going to type in, what is the longest? All right. And we're going to see what it populates, right? Number 1, what is the longest day of the year?
Oh, okay. That's nearby. I can get that.
What is the longest river in the United States?
That seems pretty easy.
What is the longest word in the world?
Oh,
yeah.
I think I know that one. Do we do that now or loop back to it?
I don't know. We can do that now if you know it.
I heard when I was in high school is anti-de-establishmentarianism.
All right.
So click on it. See if that's what it is.
Longest word in the world is, hang on, I'm not interested in trying the new AI mode. Oh boy. Yes. There is a chemical name.
Holy smokes.
For a protein that is really super long.
Yeah, I see that.
Are you going to take a run at that?
Let's see. Pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcaniosis.
Yep.
That's a 45-letter word referring to a lung disease.
There you go.
Okay.
So I guess there was that.
So I was wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a good guess.
Pneumono ultramicroscopic ciliovolcaniosis. Interesting.
That is solid. I like that. So back to longest movie ever made, which was probably the Titanic.
Wow. Or Lonesome Dove.
Oh, yeah.
That's super long.
That. You know, Titanic wouldn't have been so long if she would have just moved over and let the poor guy up on that door.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a pretty one-sided debate.
I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie, right? Have you ever seen the movie like National Treasure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Aaron and I, that was actually the first movie we went to
really?
As a couple. Yeah. But had you known how that movie ended, would you have went and watched it? But everybody knows the boat sank in Titanic.
Exactly.
Right? But we all went and watched it anyway.
Yeah. I actually don't know if I've seen Titanic beginning to end, but
you're probably not missing much. Longest river in the world, longest running TV show, longest word in the English language. So a lot of people worried about what the longest word is.
Yeah.
What is your guess? All right, your guess for longest running TV show.
I heard it one time as The Simpsons, and that's still going.
I think
it passed Gunsmoke, I think, like 5 to 10 years ago.
I gotta believe Simpsons is right. We're gonna click on that one, and we are gonna see what's up there. Longest running TV show. Oh, nope. It's The Guiding Light.
I've never heard of it.
It's a soap opera.
Okay.
Yeah. Longest running scripted television show in American television history is Guiding Light, which aired for 72 years.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Is it still going?
I'm not sure. Oh, now see, I don't know. Apparently that started as a radio program.
Okay.
And I think they're counting out. All right.
No, it's stuff.
Besides,
The longest movie ever made, AI says, Logistics, a Swedish experimental film released in 2012. It is 857 hours long.
oh, yuck.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So, General Hospital is the longest running television soap opera.
Okay.
Guiding Light originally aired in 1937 as a radio show, and then it moved to TV in 1952. But it is actually less TV than episodes than General Hospital. So I don't know. I mean, there's all sorts of soap operas on here. Sesame Street went for 53 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Boy,
Yeah, the internet can't agree on this.
Oh, hey, Saturday Night Live for 48 seasons. I'm so old, I remember when that used to be funny. Right? I don't know. You're right. This is not I don't feel great about this at all because I still think The Simpsons has got to be up there somewhere.
I looked up longest current running, and it said General Hospital has been going for almost 60 years.
Yeah.
Like you said, that might have started as a radio thing, and The Simpsons popped up at 35 years. So, man.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I guess that I don't know if that was a great first time into that.
I feel
or
like
not.
Google used to answer a lot more questions directly than it does now.
Right. I think
this is my truth is seeped into the interwebs.
I think. I used to ask Jeeves, but I don't even know if I can do that anymore.
I remember asking Jeeves. Man, you remember how basic that page was?
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was better than Google at the time.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
For real.
Like you'd ask Google a question and it would give you a bunch of nothingness.
And it does kind of that AI summary Google does. But what I've noticed is you got to be really careful with that because it pulls from so many different sources, but it doesn't necessarily pull it takes it out of context.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that information is actually not
great.
Great.
I remember when if you didn't know the song lyrics, you just sang it wrong until your friends made fun of you, or you found it out 20 years later.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Misheard song lyrics is tremendous.
Yeah. Third grade romance.
Oh, yeah.
Never understood that song.
Well, sometimes. I mean, yeah. I was trying to think. There's actually been a fair amount of those.
Oh, yeah. And then you've learned the real lyrics and it just blows your mind. Like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. She may not like me telling this story. Or maybe she doesn't care. I don't know. But
we'll find out.
This one gal that I know really super well, Zach Brown Band, they had that song, She Has Whatever It Is, I think is the lyric of the song. But she always sang it, she has one of those idiots. And so that was funny. I like that one. Which is not always untrue.
Right.
So stands to reason. I was trying to think of a couple of the other ones and sometimes I know they're wrong, but I still sing it that way anyway.
Exactly, because you don't know the right words.
Yeah,
so
now you
kind of gets filled in with a lot of 90s pop songs.
Yeah.
I mean, Pearl Jam, who knows what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, now you put me on the spot and I can't think of any good ones.
No, I know.
You'll have to write
it. Be confusing, but
you'll have to write the show with your favorite misheard song lyrics.
So many.
I'll think of some once we get off air. But
that's right.
Now I can't seem to think any of them, but yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, anything else?
Boy, I don't think so.
I think we've kind of got most everything covered. We're coming into 4th of July holiday here sometime next week, so make sure to be careful with your fireworks. Well, the chances of starting something on fire has diminished quite a bit, but
That's
still need to be careful.
Yeah.
Probably don't hold it in your hand and light it.
Remember to back it up, Terry.
Yeah. Put it in reverse, Terry. My ears ring just kind of all the time. Probably made some poor decisions when I was younger. But one of the things I wonder, I had a firecracker once that I thought was a smoke bomb, like a solid smoke bomb. Oh, boy. But it was also like the equivalent of they probably weren't M80s back then, like a silver salute. So it smoked for a while and then exploded.
Oh, man.
But I didn't know that. Luckily, I was not holding it, but I was about the right age where you needed to be a little destructive. And so I had put it under like maybe like a Tonka truck or something, like it was on fire type of thing, and it was smoking away, and I was entirely too close. And then when it exploded, like everything went quiet for a while before it came back, and I thought, man, that wasn't great.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Did you ever wage war against anthills?
A little bit.
We would smoke bomb, turn them all sorts of different colors.
Oh, yeah.
And just firecrackers on them like it was a Pacific War landing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was just complete bombardment.
Yeah. Well, you got to.
And they were resilient.
Building their hills and whatnot.
Yeah, you stick firecracker in the hole, blow it a little bigger,
go
deeper, and
you got to.
They always rebuilt.
You know,
never did win.
There is something about lighting a firecracker that it's fun, but it's even more fun if you can be slightly destructive with it.
Yeah.
So we were forever like blowing holes in the sand pile.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or maybe we'd do some excavating and then like, you know, you had to do some blasting while you were, you know.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of that. I hate to be this way too, but I think firecrackers were better when we were younger.
You know, I haven't been around. The boys haven't gotten the firecracker age yet.
They're just not as, like, the smoke bombs. Like, you used to be able to fog out an entire city block.
Yeah.
And now
I do agree smoke bombs don't last as long.
They trickle smoke out for about 20 seconds, and it's not good.
I know. About the time I was retiring from fireworks career, those fuses on firecrackers were getting so quick.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it used to be light them in your hand and throw them, but, man, you can't have any backswing on your throw. You got to be quick.
Yeah, you got to get rid of it quick.
Yeah.
We had... we'd kind of got into the stuff going up in the air, artillery shells and all that.
I'm ready for that age again.
Yeah, that was a hoot. We got some, they kind of looked like a plastic missile, and they didn't have any rod or tube or anything. You just set them on the fins and lit them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got one of those, and we were pretty excited.
Yeah.
We lit that thing. So a lot of times we'll do it in here in town. We'll go to grandma's.
Oh, okay.
That way we don't burn down the country. We just make a mess in town, I guess. But everybody else is doing it, so why not? And we lit that thing off, and it got about 10 feet in the air and then turned horizontal and shot down the street.
Oh, my.
Like it was not supposed to, but that's what it did. Luckily, it plowed into a tree and kind of held up there and then exploded. And I'm like, no more of that.
Yeah.
Like, so we have never bought those again. But I'm like, man, if that would have blasted through somebody's window.
Ooh,
like,
boy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So no more of those. But yeah, smoke bombs and mammoth smokes. You remember those? Those great big old tubes.
So.
They were like the size of a toilet paper tube.
No, I don't think I ever did those.
Oh, man. You could puff smoke like you were waiting for a chopper to get you out. They were fun.
I do remember doing tank wars. That was always fun.
Oh, yeah. See, tanks are another one. They're about 10% of what they used to be.
I know it. I mean, used to be at the end of a tank war.
Somebody was on fire.
Like nothing was left.
Yep.
It was complete carnage.
Yep.
But now it's just like you can't even get them to wheel.
Oh, I know.
They just sit in place. And
they're miserable.
I mean, the tractors are about the same way. I mean, neat having a tractor, but yeah.
I know. It's disappointing at best.
Yeah, I know it.
So get your stuff together. Can you even buy an American-made firework?
I doubt it.
Yeah. Come on.
We need to go to other states and get the good stuff.
Yeah, except now Kansas is the same as us, so we can't even go there.
That's a bummer.
But Nebraska did let bottle rockets back, and I do kind of like. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
And I do kind of like those. You can hold the stick and light them and give them a fling.
So do you go watch the show in town?
We do. Yeah. We kind of like that.
I don't know. Even when I was, fireworks are getting cheaper and cheaper made, I always enjoyed that kind of even more than lighting off my own, mostly because once we got to a certain age, we were kind of given like, here's $20. And if you want anything more than that, that's on you.
Right.
And that's when you kind of learn that spending money on fireworks is kind of a dumb idea.
I do wonder, and I have done that too in the past, so that I'm not casting judgment, but how many hundreds of thousands of dollars get spent just locally?
Oh, yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not picking because I've done it too.
Hey,
so.
Like I said, I don't try to judge. You earn your money. You have a right to do what you want on it. But I'm not spending a lot on fireworks because 2 seconds, it's gone.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Yeah.
And so, do what you do. But
I'm sure people look at me and question my decision making with money sometimes. So
maybe a little. We'll save that story for a different day. Remind me to tell you about the Planters peanut can and It was a good time.
Okay.
But that may have led to some hearing loss as well. Yeah. Anything else? I suppose we've been going a while now.
Have we?
Yep.
Oh, time's fun when you're having flies.
Yep. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yep.
So
take that with your stitching time.
Hey,
maybe your stitching time saves you 9 flies while you're having fun.
I mean, that's all right.
Is that how it all works together?
I'm not looking at like fishing flies.
Well, I don't know.
Or like buzzing flies.
We don't have any of these things figured out.
No, well, I'm not looking to save any buzzing flies.
We need to Google the meaning behind all these things.
Let's do that. We'll do that next time. Like haste makes waste. I can get behind that. I understand that one. Yeah. But
sometimes it works.
Yeah, sometimes haste just...
Sometimes you need to put a little hustle in your bustle.
But that's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I can get behind that. We've got a couple of boys that sometimes their amount of hustle is...
It wears on you.
It does.
We don't even learn the concept. It's just every day we just forgot about the whole speech about we're trying to get stuff done and let's move a little quicker. And yeah, I miss the days where time was luxury.
Yeah, for a fact. I wonder, my assumption is going to be haste makes waste was not invented by the people that invented hasty pudding, though.
I've never heard of hasty pudding.
What?
Yeah.
There's going to be so many unanswered questions for the next episode. Hey, all right. I think this thing is derailing faster than we can keep it together. Podcast is currently in derate mode. And,
yeah, we're just blocking the crossing now.
Yeah, we're just blocking the... Oh, man. Yeah, for real. But, hey, here's what we're going to do. This is going to be kind of fun. So, send in your favorite sayings. Right?
Yeah.
I
would like to do one on sayings.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to do that next episode or so. We'll read them on air and we'll try to figure out some of what's going on. If you have favorite ones.
Or ones you don't understand.
That might
be better.
Maybe one that mom or dad or grandma and grandpa used to say a lot. That dog will hunt. That's, things like that. But go ahead, send those into the show. You can comment on any of our social media posts. We'll see it there, Facebook and that sort of thing. Or you can send it to thefarmertanpodcast@gmail.com. We check that pretty regularly. And honestly, we've been getting some comments off and on, so we might start reading comments on air, as well.
That would be good.
Have a little fun with that too. But yeah, feel free to write the show. But yeah, maybe we'll make the next one out of sayings and slang words and different things like that maybe don't make sense.
Yeah.
Other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of whatever you have left when you listen to this.
Have a happy 4th or hope you had a happy 4th, depending when it comes out.
Yeah. So. Yep. Have a good one or hope you had a good one.
Yeah.
If you're finishing a drive, hope you made it there safely. Or if you're just starting, good luck.
Welcome home.
Or welcome back. Yeah. Hope your hamburger was good if you're eating or whatever you're doing. Just do it well. And all right, we got some firecrackers we got to go buy. So you got to get out of here and we got to go home.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Brings